You're just getting a voice who understands the aviation industry very well. Jitender Bhargava, former ED at Air India, joining in now on the show. Mr. Bhargava, very somber morning and just horrific what's happened with the crash. I mean, we'll keep the conspiracy theories aside because we're not the experts. We'll wait for the black box and the investigations to go over. The whole world is looking at it. But from the perspective of just faith in a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, for the average passenger, that has been crushed.
No, you see, let's put it this way. This aircraft is a modern aircraft, has a good track record, and as you very rightly said, the first instance of the aircraft being involved in an accident. Now, we really can't judge at this stage as to what happened because it was bright visibility, good visibility there yesterday, and the plane, when it took off, couldn't go beyond 675 feet high altitude and then came hurtling down at great speed. Since it was fully fueled to go to Gatwick Airport, naturally it aided the fire that the aircraft was engulfed in. And then, of course, we know about the tragedies on ground because once it fell down and there was nothing open ground where the pilot could have probably steered the aircraft, and that just did not happen. A very, very horrific incident, sad day for Indian aviation, sad day for Air India. And for all of us who have worked for Air India, we also feel very dejected, traumatic about it.
Right. Mr. Bhargava, this is Harsh here. There's plenty being spoken about what could have transpired. Do you believe that there is a concern with regard to the way Boeing is currently being governed, and is there justifiability in grounding the entire Boeing fleet at all?
You know, Boeing has not covered itself with glory for the last few years.
Yes.
Particularly with the 737 MAX episode, and the whistleblower had come forward on how they've been getting approval from the FAA, etc., and all the technical issues that have got. But when you look at the aircraft, it's been flying. And now if we were to take a knee-jerk reaction and say we are going to ground it, what purpose would it serve? If Dreamliner aircraft, similar aircraft are continuing to be flown by other airlines in the world. Clearly, the direction or the advisory must come from Boeing aircraft. And if I can take you back in 1989, early 1990, I would say, when the A320 aircraft crash took place in Bangalore, there was a knee-jerk reaction on grounding of A320s with Indian Airlines. And then we all know what happened, the losses mounted, and et cetera, et cetera. So I would ideally allow Boeing to take a call on it because Boeing has basically interest in all airlines which are operating Dreamliner aircraft rather than DGCA taking a call on it, because the expertise needed for taking such a bold decision, such a mega decision, rests with the engineers of Boeing company rather than, I would say, DGCA, which does not have the wherewithal, the expertise to take a call and say it would be a knee-jerk reaction if they say, please ground Air India, ground the aircraft. Indigo, incidentally, has also is ordered on lease 6 Dreamliner aircraft. I don't know what the current status, whether some of them have joined the fleet or not, but Dreamliner also had. So it's going to impact just Air India, but also Indigo's plan for flying globally to European countries.
Mr. Bhargava, good morning. Hiral on this side. Taking into consideration history so far and the kind of exposure Air India has to Boeing, how big an impact will it be in terms of Air India's brand? And now that you have Tata that has come in as well, what would you have to say on that bit?
You know, every accident is a setback for the airline involved. Because this one-off incident that comes in, sticks in public memory, and because this accident took place in broad daytime, so naturally it's being played out on television, the plane crashing with all the things available, which will leave a mark on the viewers for a long time. But then in aviation industry, we don't look at a one-off incident, but look at the track record that the airline has. For example, accident per million passengers flown, or accident per million takeoff and landing that an airline has achieved. So we must look at it, and as we all know, that the investigations have started. There are Boeing is associated, DGCA, then you have the Safety Board of United States, probably UK is sending a team also because there were a whole lot of UK nationals on board the flight. So you will get it. You know, there's a standard operating procedure that you will get investigation because Boeing would be interested in knowing what happened, why it happened, was it a technical issue, and if it was a technical issue, what alternative mechanism we need to incorporate in future aircraft available. Air India would be interested in knowing that, look, if there was a deficiency in pilot, and as we all know, the commander had 8,200 hours of flying experience. Now, what went wrong and where? Because the time window that we look at it was very, very brief. He took off, and then in the next 2 minutes, all this happened. So the cockpit voice recorder, the black box, will probably give us an indication of what transpired in the last few seconds or minutes between the pilot, commander, and the co-pilot, and the cockpit crew with the ATC as to what happened. As the moment we are clueless, some people are suggesting it's a bird head. Somebody said, look, the engine failure. Some says the flaps did not open, it couldn't take off. But I would, as an former airline person, not hazard a guess or speculate as to what happened. Let investigations get completed.